Hi everybody. So Regalia is back with yet another video on plant introduction, and we'll see first what is introduction means the definition of plant introduction. So it is usually taking a genotype or a group of genotype, or you can consider taking a plant. Here we are talking with respect to genotype or a gene. So taking a genotype or a group of genotype of plants into new environment where they were not being grown before. So the definition itself is complete, and the word plant introduction very well represents it. It means that introducing a plant from an environment in which it it was growing into another environment which is new for that particular plant. So it is called as plant introduction. So plant introduction is basically of two types. Here we can see first is primary and it is secondary. So primary introduction means that the introduced variety is well suited for that environment. Okay. And secondly, see, first of all, it is well suited. Secondly, it is directly released. Okay, it is directly released for commercial purposes because it is very well suited. So we don't need to modify the genotype, or we don't need to do any kind of amendments to it. So we directly release it for commercial cultivation, and therefore we do not alter its genotype. Now, for secondary introduction, the introduced variety is subjected to selection to get superior variety. So sometimes what happens is that the primary introduced variety, the characters that are present in the primary introduced variety is not up to the mark, or not what we want should be there in the variety. So what we do is that we subject it to various selection procedures until we get the superior variety. So this is called as the secondary introduction, and this secondary introduced variety is hybridized with the local variety to transfer traits to them. It is done basically through back crossing. What is back crossing will be dealt in the later chapters. But for now, what you should learn is that the secondary introduced variety, it is crossed with the local varieties and the traits are transferred into them. So we will see some examples of primary introduced variety, like the semi dwarf wheat Sonora 64 and Narma Rojo. It is pronounced as Rojo. Okay, not Rojo. Semi dwarf rice variety like TN1, Taichung Native 1, IR8. These are very famous varieties. IR28, IR36. So these are the primary introduced. They were directly introduced and released as commercial in India. Okay, so in this chapter, whatever we will be talking, whatever varieties we will be discussing, it will be discussed with respect to India. Okay, so don't get confused at any point. Now for wheat, here in the secondary introduced, it is Kalyan, Sona and Sonalika. So what happened was that Sonora 64 and Lerma Rojo, they were, they were kind of transformed into Kalyan, Sona and Sonalika. Similarly for rice, Jaya and Ratna were the semi-dwarf varieties that was secondarily introduced. Okay. Now we'll see history of plant introduction, sorry. So the first example is of cherries and grapes. So cherries and grapes, they were introduced from Afghanistan into India by Muslim invaders. Okay. Now second is tea, lychee and locust. So these three crops, they were introduced by the East India Company from China. So from China, the East India Company brought these tea, lychee, locust into India. Okay. Now cabbage and cauliflower. So cabbage and cauliflower was introduced from the Mediterranean region, and hence cabbage and cauliflower, they prefer cold climates because they originate from the Mediterranean region. Now quinine and rubber tree, they were brought from South America by the Kew Botanic Garden in England. Okay. Anato. Anato, scientific name Bixa arellona, and mahogany. These are tree species, and they were brought from West Indies into India. So all these were brought into India from various countries. So you should learn them. Now here's a small note. Calcutta Botanical Garden was established in 1781. It can be asked in the examinations or may not be. So it's your wish if you want to learn it or not. Introduction agencies in India. Now we'll see some of the introduction agencies in a way of ascending order, means in a chronological manner. Okay, so the first is the Centralized Plant Introduction Agency, that was formed in 1946 in IARI under the division of botany. Okay, so introduction basically began at IARI under the division of botany in the name of Centralized Plant Introduction Agency. It was then later transformed into Plant Introduction and Exploration Organization in the year 1956. So the name was changed later by Dr. H.B. Singh. A division of plant introduction was separately found. Okay, and it was later reorganized as NBPGR, which we now know as the NBPGR. It was reorganized in 1976, and the main function of NBPGR we all know is the maintenance and the introduction of germplasm, okay, of agriculture and horticulture plants. It's an important question. Okay, only for agriculture and horticulture plants and no other kind of crop. Now other organizations like FRI Dehradun, they handle the forest trees. So basically the forest trees are handled by FRI Dehradun. The Botanical Survey of India, BSI, West Bengal, the they handle the plant material of botanical and medicinal interest. So the map, like the medicinal and aromatic plants, MEPs, they basically, the germplasm is handled by the Botanical Survey of India. Okay, so all the varieties that are introduced are handled by the BSI. So you should learn these organizations. Now, as a small note, like the NBPGR, it functions as the central agency, or you can also say as the nodal agency for the export and introduction of germplasm of economic importance. Okay, so the germplasm that are economically beneficial to the country or to the farmer, these are brought into, or they are also sent out of the country, but only with the intervention of NBPGR. Now we will see about NBPGR. So NBPGR is headquartered at IARI, full form you all know, National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources. It was established by ICR in New Delhi in 1976, and it has five substations. Now the five substations are like Shimla, okay, first, Jodhpur, Kanyakumari, Akola, and Shillong. So they are asked in the examination. Now they'll give you four options like find the station that is not associated with NBPGR, and they'll give options like Shimla, Jodhpur, Uttar Pradesh, and Kanyakumari, Akola, and then the correct answer will be Uttar Pradesh. So you should learn these names. Like Shillong is the recently established for northeastern germplasm collections. So it's an important question. So like this, questions can come in the examination. Procedure of plant introduction. So how is a plant material introduced? And it is an interesting question, and the solution I'll give you here. First is procurement of germplasm. So very simple. The germplasm is first procured. Now, why is the germplasm procured? Because it is very simple. NBPGR does not have that germplasm, so they procure it through various sources like gifts. Okay, like some countries or some organization, they gift those materials to our country through India, and mostly the germplasm are gifted. Okay, they are not imported. Mostly they are gifted by various agencies, and the second method is through import. Okay, now all introductions must be routed through NBPGR. It's an important question. Propagules of mango or citrus are shipped by air mail. So through air or via air, the propagules of mango or citrus are shipped. Now the second step is of quarantine. Okay, the first step is completed, first step done. Second step is of quarantine. So quarantine is to keep material in isolation to prevent the disease spread. Okay, so what we do in quarantine is that we try that the disease gets contained at a particular specific area before they move on to a spot. Like in quarantine, what we do is that we keep the material in isolation, and we check that material whether the disease is present or not, and if present, we eradicate that particular material before they enter into that country or that state for that matter. All material introduced should also carry a phytosanitary certificate. Okay, so a phytosanitary certificate is very much important because it tells the authenticity of that material, that whether that material is free from uh, diseases or not. Okay, now here are the list of some restricted materials, and we will talk with respect to India only. So, Cocoa and Theobroma species, the plants and seeds of cocoa are restricted to enter into India if they come from Africa, Ceylon, and West Indies. Okay, now sugar cane is restricted from Australia, Fiji, New Guinea, Philippines, West Indies. Okay, because in these countries red rot is prominent, so sugar cane from these sources are not allowed into our country. Now rubber, here in rubber you can see the plant and seeds from America and West Indies are not allowed. Sunflower from Argentina and Peru. Ungind cotton and Mexican jumping bean. It's not gene, it's Mexican jumping bean actually. It's a misprint. Mexican jumping bean. Okay, so uh, these this crop is strictly prohibited. Okay, from any country. It cannot be introduced in India. Ungind cotton and Mexican jumping bean. Now, the third step is cataloging. So what we do is that we basically classify the germplasm. Now, once we have obtained the germplasm, like see, first what we did, we procured it. Then secondly, what we did, we quarantined it. Now, thirdly, what we are doing is that we are cataloging it, or we are classifying it into various collections. Like the first is exotic collections. Exotic collections mean this collection is not present in our country and it is a foreign, an alien collection. Okay, alien, or you can see alien collection. Indigenous collection, which is present within our own country. Indigenous wild collection, these are wild types. Okay, then the fourth is evaluation. Now in evaluation, what do we do is that we evaluate the germplasm, that whether this germplasm is suitable for that particular crop or not. And how do we do it? We do it via acclimatization. Okay, so acclimatization is a process that leads to adaptation of a variety into a new environment. So what we do is that we first see that whether that particular crop can withstand that environment, the diseases or the abiotic or biotic stresses that are present in the environment or not. And this is done through acclimatization, and for acclimatization genetic variability is a prerequisite. Okay, so a particular plant can of course acclimatize only if it is heterozygous or heterogeneous in genotype. Okay, now after cataloging, evaluation is done through acclimatization, and once it is evaluated that it is suitable, once it is evaluated, it is then the fifth step is it is then multiplied and distributed to farmers or to various agencies wherever it is required to go. Now, introduction of diseases like the late blight of potato. It was introduced from Europe in 1883. The dates are also important as well as the places. So, late blight of potato from Europe, flax smut of wheat, Eurocystis tuticina from Australia, coffee rust, Hemilia vestatrix from Ceylon, Sri Lanka. 1876. Okay, coffee rust from Sri Lanka, flax nut from Australia, bunchy top of banana again from Sri Lanka, potato moth from Italy. It's an important question. Potato moth is asked in the examinations. Now, various varieties that are selected through introduction: Bajra, Jamnagar giant and improved Ghana, sweet potato, Pusa lal and Pusa sunheri, and radish, Japanese white and 40 days. So radish is white in color, so you can learn the example like because it is white in color, so Japanese white. Okay, now bajra, Jamnagar giant and improved Ghana. Bajra is, it is quite huge in size, it is a giant one, so you can learn like Jamnagar giant. Sweet potato is red in color, the sweet potato, so the name Pusa lal or sunheri can fit into it. So you can learn these things like this. And I'll end this video. And if you like my content, then kindly like the channel. And if you want the free lecture notes, the Telegram channel link is given in the description box. Okay, you can join the Telegram channel and you could find this lecture that I have delivered right now. The PDF is present in my Telegram channel, so you can join that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.